Hello, welcome to the CIA Corner here on Tap TV. My name is William Sabule and I'm so excited to have you join me on today's episode, being the 22nd day in the month of January 2024. All right, on today's episode of the program, we're going to be discussing about kidnapping epidemic. Experts are beginning to worry that the banks are enabling rapid growth of this kidnapping industry. It has become an industry, just like the way you have an electronic shop or you have a mechanic, spare parts shop where you sell. That's how it has become a business in Nigeria, and it is not even particular to any part of the country. It's all over the country. Nowhere in the country is safe anymore. So you travel on the roads of Nigeria, your heart is pumping real fast, that I hope it doesn't get dark. And sometimes it's not about the night. Even during the day, they could just whisk you away. And it's something that should worry every well-meaning Nigerians. And experts have come out to say fingers are beginning to point towards the banks. So what is CBN doing? What is the federal government doing about all of these concerns that have been raised? That's what we're going to be looking at when we come back from this very quick break. Don't forget that you're also part of this program, so go ahead and drop your comments and your opinions on the comment section. That will be after you subscribe if you're a first-time viewer. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and of course turn on your notification to get notified whenever we come up with a new episode of this and other interesting programs we have lined up for you here on TAF TV. After this break, we get into the main meat of the matter. All right, welcome back from that very quick break. Let's get into our discussion. All right. Experts are beginning to point fingers at the banks. They say these banks are enabling these kidnappers into getting into the industry even more. Why are they saying this? Because we found out that most of the ransom payments to these kidnappers were done through the banks. And so you're beginning to wonder that, so they paid ransom monies through the banks. What is the security? What are the security experts doing? How come they couldn't trace these monies back to the account owners? And, these kidnappers or criminals, who is the owner of the account that will receive this money that was paid for ransom? When you begin to think about this, you say, before now, we know that the federal government called for us to register for BVN. We also hear that our national identity numbers will soon be linked. That is NIN will soon be linked back to our bank account numbers. And then you say, why were they waiting? We know that they've already started linking vehicle particulars to NIN, or NIN to vehicles. That's there's the ECMR paper. That it's now a new trend as part of the car documents in Nigeria. So why have they waited this long to link our NIN to our bank account numbers? But even before doing that, we know that the BVN adequately captures information regarding customers. So now we have most bank account numbers linked to BVN. So are they saying that there are some exceptions to this rule or exception to this law? And then aside that, when as bank officials, when you work in a bank and huge amounts are paid into maybe a dormant account or an account that has not been used for long, or an account that has maybe a small money threshold, and suddenly you see 50 million naira being paid into that account, what happens to such an account? Do you call the owner and say, okay, you cut me some some part of the money for me to let this fly? Or what are the banks really doing? These are a lot of questions that Nigerians are raising to the CBN and, of course, also security experts, that they need to look into this aspect of, ransom being paid through the banks. And experts and research is beginning to show that very few monies were, given to these kidnappers as cash. Because, of course, carrying huge sums of money around, is becoming more difficult for them. But then, let's even assume that they succeed in taking these monies in cash. Do they spend these monies in the bush? Or they bring it back into the cities? So they have other sets of people that clean this money for them to now use it as normal money. So you see that the kidnapping industry is a very thriving one in Nigeria, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon, except the federal government under Bola Ahmed Tinubu rises up to the occasion and begin to fight back as Nigerians expect, because we need to do this, and as quickly as possible too. Abuja, the FCT, is no longer safe. We hear over 25 persons were kidnapped in and around Abuja within the last few months, and that is not good. The last set of kidnapped victims were just released some few days ago, and that is not all. This happens every now and then, of course, and they don't kidnap people for just anything. They kidnap them for ransom. And if it has become a business, shouldn't it worry the federal government of Nigeria? If you live in Nigeria, you should wonder what these security agencies are doing. Also, let's not forget the fact that recently there have been the birth of many online banks where they don't have branches. They probably have one branch in Lagos or somewhere in Abuja, and the rest of the country transact business with these banks, and they are online. So those such banks can actually receive payments, and when you track it to an online, account and all of that. These are some of the things that CBN needs to worry about. We also understand that some family members, when they kidnap their loved ones, they don't want to involve the police. So yes, they encourage this business. Of course, just some weeks ago, we saw the former Minister of Digital Economy, Pantami, coming out to say we are paying 50 million or 60 million naira to kidnappers to release the families of these 6 girls that were kidnapped in Abuja. I mean, if you can come out and say that you want to pay 60 million naira to a certain gang, what does that mean? You're encouraging it. Even if you were going to do that, you didn't need to come out online to say it. It should be shameful. It should be something that is hidden. But then you come out to make it look as though it seems okay because you want to save lives. But in doing so, you're putting more lives at risk. When you pay that ransom and announce to the world that you finally paid the kidnappers what they were asking for, you are enabling them to kidnap another set of people and then wait for the federal government to pay these monies to these kidnappers as ransom. Have we ever heard where the federal government go out of their way to try to at least, engage these kidnappers for a rescue mission? Some years ago, some Americans were kidnapped somewhere in the north, and the American army came into Nigeria and rescued those kidnapped American citizens and left. And then later on, it was announced that, the Americans took permission to come in and all of that. If they can do that, are we even trying to rescue victims of these kidnappers from these kidnappers, and then letting them know that the federal government is ready to fight back? Every time families are left on their own to run around for the safety and rescue of their loved ones, and it's really sad. And that's because they don't have confidence in the federal government or in the government of today to help them. But sometimes the security officer that you went to report to is complicit in the kidnap. He has communications link with these kidnappers. So you're talking to him, he's talking back at the kidnappers. They've been to our station, they are ready to pay the money, we are going to meet in social location. So you begin to see that there is no need to fight back. If your loved one is out there, you begin to want to find ways to rescue them, and you don't want to involve the police. So it's quite unfortunate that things are going this way. We hope that our government of today will do things differently and curb this menace of kidnapping as much as they can. That's all I can take today on the CIA Corner. Until we come your way again next time, don't forget to drop your commentaries. We'd like to hear from you too, right here on the program, as you subscribe and also turn on the notification. And then stay connected to us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and of course on X. Until next time I come your way again, my name is William Sabule. See you next time.